Capitol Hill is preparing for a big fight on Thursday with the release of the Mueller report. One America's Jack Posobiec sat down with former Trump campaign advisor Michael Caputo to learn more.
We now know that the Mueller report will be released on Thursday. Michael, what are you expecting to see in the report this Thursday?
Well, I'll tell you what, I expect to see that everyone who's been dragged through this collusion hoax from the translator in the Trump Tower meeting all the way up to the president himself, every one of us, witnesses among them, are going to be vindicated by this report because we know there was no collusion. But the one thing that I'm concerned about is that it's very clear that through this investigation that the prosecutors within, probably the pro-Clinton prosecutors within, I think they're going to try to give a footpath, a map to the House Democrats to impeach the president on pretty trumped up charges of obstruction.
Now, we've also seen some new calls. Devin Nunes and other Republican investigators have stated that they think that Mueller, all throughout the 2018 campaign season, was dropping these hints and misleading statements in the charging documents of people like George Papadopoulos, General Flynn, Roger Stone, and others to make it seem as if there was some broader Russian conspiracy theory. Why would he do that?
I think until the very end, they thought they'd find that one rock and turn it over. And so in order to make that case, they left the breadcrumbs in that fashion as well. All the breadcrumbs they left behind them as they traversed this issue, they left them behind for reporters to find and even leak them at times, would make the case, help them make the case in the end that there was collusion. And now that they found none, all the damage they could do with collusion, they've already done.
Bottom line, you think it's going to be essentially innuendo, lots of trivia, but it's not going to rise anywhere to the level of criminal conspiracy?
Not at all. I'm quite certain of it. Not just because I've been on the inside of this, but also because I was inside the campaign. There was no collusion. It just did not happen. And there is no way this report's going to find collusion. The problem we're going to have is obstruction. I'm quite certain that the prosecutors left for the House Democrats a path to impeachment on obstruction.
What do you think will be the, the top story, the top narrative that comes out of it in terms of those footpaths? Will it be the asking Comey to go easy on Flynn, or perhaps the firing of Comey itself?
I think it's hard to declare the firing of Comey obstruction when the president is following a memo from one of the people who, from Rosenstein, who panicked afterwards and then appointed Mueller. But from my perspective, I think what's going to drive this initially will be a series of new information that we find out. I mean, I know that the Mueller team was leaking, but they weren't leaking nearly as much as they could have. Certainly not leaking as much as the House Intelligence Committee and Senate Intelligence Committee was doing. And so there's going to be new information there on obstruction and probably even on collusion.
Always appreciate your insight, Mr. Caputo.
Thanks a lot, Jack.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.